In the novel Brave New World, written by Aldous Huxley, although there are numerous protagonists and antagonists, the most noticeable protagonists are John, Bernard Marx, Helmholtz Watson, who are all characters that express their individuality and rebel against the society as opposed to other generic people, whereas the antagonists are Mustafa Mann and the director of the Central London Hatchery, who work in the factory. The story takes place in the Year of Stability, AF 632, and mainly in the Central London Hatchery, which is basically a factory where artificially fertilized babies are produced through a process known as the Bukanovics process, allowing up to 96 copies of the same embryo to be produced. Such setting establishes a fictional and a futuristic tone to the plot, as the readers are not familiar with such setting. The setting also allows the audience to not falsely assume that the book is taking place in the environment similar to our current life, which gets rid of all stereotypical views about topics of technology and life, allowing a much more refreshing story to be produced. The climax is when Bernard, Helmholtz, and John all gather up to form a rebellion with the Deltas. The revolt functions as a turning point through fully developing Helmholtz as a man who fights back against the established system, revealing Bernard's two-faced personality and his failure to rebel against the society, and demonstrating John's desire to learn and spread the truth to the world. The title Brave New World is a phrase that John the Savage keeps saying throughout the book. It is mentioned in the book that his saying of "Oh, Brave New World" is based on many of Shakespeare's plays. John used to be a person that lived in the dirty Pueblo with his own mother that was banished from the Central London Hatchery. Because of that, he had no personal experience of this advanced and fancy world of the world state that others are living in. In the beginning, he says this phrase to express his astonishment of the world state, but as the plot goes on, it becomes more of an expression to indicate his willingness to rebel against the world state. The book definitely contains controversial theme, which is unconstrained expression of love, which can also include sexual harassment in this case. In the book, all of the kids, both girls and boys, play with their bodies naked and participate in erotic plays, which cannot be seen in our world as this is against the law. I will still want this part to be added to the book because it has a more refreshing and unexpected scene, which is something that is acceptable in the range of the setting of the book. My favorite passage from the book is definitely the climax. I could feel shivers running down my spine when I heard Helmholtz and John shouting. I believe their usage of propaganda was effective enough to even influence the readers as well. I felt exhilarated in this particular passage as John is my favorite character, who crushes all expectations of what a human can possibly do by himself. This passage also shows how people are trying to rebel against the caste system in the world state and achieve true equality, which implicitly mentions the theme of power gap, making it much more meaningful than other passages and scenes. My favorite scene from the book is the part where the Indians are doing a tribal ceremony, and the appearance of the pueblo is described as being dirty and filled with dogs. From the very beginning of the book, I was visualizing the world state as being a place where it is completely hygienic and clean without a single dust, which made me feel distant from the reality that I live in. But as soon as Lilina and Bernard entered the pueblo, it made me feel more like where I belong, as it was nature friendly. I really did not enjoy the ending of the book. In the end, John hangs himself because of the fact that he lost his battle against the world state through unconsciously participating in the Orgy Porgy dance, a dance to express and share happiness with each other, which is something only the people from the world state perform. The book could have ended much more meaningfully without showing the banal, tragic death of a protagonist. The caste system is one important theme in the novel, which is presented through the predetermined lives of the embryos and their childhood education, which varies among all babies, and usually those in the lower caste are educated to believe that they're inferior to upper-class babies. This elucidates how, in order to maintain stability and reduce individuality, not everyone can be the same, and there has to be ones that are superior to others. Another theme is the power of technology. Through use of technologically developed weapons and drugs such as water guns, electric shocks, loud noises, and soma, The government of the world state is able to completely shut down any noises and complaints about the society and prevent any form of rebellion. This allows the audience to understand the power gap between ordinary people and the world state, allowing an easy manipulation of the society. Uncensored expression of love is another theme of the novel. When John, a naturally born man, falls in love with Lenina, a beta girl from the factory, she tries to have sex with her on the first day they are on a date, which horrifies John, making him think that she is a whore. The difference between their standards of expression of love, based on their phases of relationships, is clearly different, indicating how the world state allows free expression of love and sex. Such a theme is crucial as it makes us rethink our values of sex and love based on the story. Ford, a man who is said to create everything about the world state and the central London hatchery, symbolizes God and religion itself. Whenever the workers or the students are awed by the high tech of the factory, people mention the Ford as if mentioning the Bible. They go like, "Inspired saying of our Ford." Ford indicates how people also maintain stability through a single established religion. Another symbol of the dominant power of science is soma, a drug that makes people instantly happy and relief from their sufferings and stress. This symbol allows the audience to understand how easy it is to control and stabilize an entire society with a single powerful drug without needing an army, thus highlighting the importance of technology as a means of stability. The story is told from a third-person perspective, which allows the entire situation to be supervised from the eyes of an outsider that does not interfere in the story. The story would have been much more simple and not complex if it was written in either first or second perspective, because there are so many characters in the book, and all of their interactions with each other reveal so much about the societal roles and their personalities, all of which provide us information to understand the setting, the way of life, and their hidden desires. I would recommend this book to all people who are majoring in bioengineering. I believe some unique ideas of technology of how to reproduce life in an efficient way may trigger interest in the nerdy scientists. I will give this book a 9 out of 10 because I was never really bored while reading this book, and the setting is so unique, unlike other technology-related novels.